Hello, I'm Linda Stevens, and I'm joining you today from womenswellbeing.me, which is the health hub for peri to post-menopausal women. We started this year, 2026, with a workshop looking at how to use this healthy habit tracker that I have made, just a simple non-AI PDF to print out and work with on a weekly basis to pop onto your fridge and just to help us to start getting some short, simple, but really impactful healthy habits implemented and creating a way of being which is going to serve us in the long run. So I did a workshop the other day with members, had a wonderful response, but unfortunately it didn't record. So I'm just doing another session now where I will précis the things that we covered and also some of the fantastic suggestions that the members came up with as well. So I thought I'd just share my screen here in order to go inside the membership. And great, we can see where we are at, and I'm just going to talk you through how to use the healthy habit tracker for 2026. Right, let's just scroll down. So this is inside the homepage of the womenswellbeing.me membership. Um, Over on the left-hand side, there are the Zoom links for the three classes, the Women's Wellbeing Pathway 1, 2, 3 of classes. And a question, what do you need today, or what do you need this week? You can either join the classes live. Some of them are weekly, some of them are the first week of the month, or you can just scroll down and go into the tents and get a recorded sequence. So we have the chill out space, which is the release and replenish class. And in the chill out space, there's also quick fix playlists. So quick fix sequences are sequences that are under about 20 minutes. So most of them about 5-10 minute sequences. And the quick fix playlist within the chill out space is all about calming the central nervous system, activation of the vagus nerve, unwinding harmful tension pattern in the body so that you can get to that state where you can rest deeply. So there's also guided meditations in there. So if you're feeling all in your head, stressed, tense, hunched over, clenched, this is the place you need to go first. So there's the chill out space. Next on the pathway is my posture and pelvic core restore class. And there's also a course, a beginner's course in there. And there's also, again, a quick fix playlist. So you can do a full class recording. I've got literally about 100 in there of the full class recordings. You can do the beginner's course, or you might just choose to go into the quick fix playlist and do a 8, 10, 15-minute sequence. My mantra is little and often. So this whole healthy habit tracker experience is really about trying to get us into the habit of doing even just 10 minutes of movement a day and focusing on what you want to achieve, or focusing on what you think your body needs the most, and going and using the resources that are in the membership to help you achieve your goals. The Hatha Strong tent, number 3 on the pathway, is where you're going to get the short, kind of 30-minute blast classes, 20 to 30-minute blast classes. These classes often use weights as well. So it's more about the muscle strengthening, the bone strengthening, cross patterning for the brain, improving balance. These are stronger, faster, harder classes. And really, I believe the reason I put a number 3 on the pathway is we need to know how to work with our breath and our pelvic floor together in synergy. We need to have unwound some of those harmful tension patterns. We need to have good alignment in our bodies before we start doing a whole lot of strengthening work. So we're such holistic beings, and I do worry that people are walking around like a head on top of a separated body. And especially once we've lost our progesterone and estrogen in menopause, we can sometimes do ourselves more damage than good if we're doing too much strengthening, especially if we're breath holding, etc. And if our alignment's not good, if we're sucking and tucking, if we're going straight into that more high impact, strengthening work without doing a bit of the prep, we might end up making the prolapse worse. We might end up damaging our knees, that kind of thing. So if you know you're at the beginning of your well-being journey, but your intention is to get fit and feel fantastic for your years beyond menopause, then please first of all look at the chill out tent. They're still pretty, it's not just lying around on your back. There's some good release sequences in there. And then moving along to the posture and pelvic core restore, and then onto the Hatha Strong classes. I've got a virtual library here as well, where I've interviewed experts in their fields, so doctors who specialize in menopause, nutritionists, naturopaths, pelvic floor physiotherapists. So do go in there and listen to some information from the experts. The more we know about this incredible vessel of ours, the more we will revere it, and the more we will be inclined to look after it as we age. So let's go back up the home page. On the right hand side of the home page, I always just change this every week or so. I'll put one of the quick fix sequences in from these playlists below. So here I've just popped the 2-minute legs up the wall. When we did our workshop the other day, Sarah was saying that she loves doing this when she's gone out for a walk or a run, getting outside into nature. She likes to do this one because it helps her just to decongest, relieve pressure through the legs, and it's such a fantastic practice to relieve pressure through the pelvic floor. So if you have got prolapse, this is a great one. And also, because we're in a slight inversion, we instantly go into that extended exhalation and a fantastic sense of calm. So it's a wonderful practice for nighttime. So always just I put, a 2 or 5 or 8 minute practice in there. So if you want to come into the homepage and just go straight to that for something to get you going, I try and inspire you to then go, oh, what else could I try? And we have these different, these are not the specific playlists that I have in the tents, but this is just a generic playlist. If you're just looking for something that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, go into the 10-minute sequence or less. If you're wanting more like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, go into the 20 minutes or less. If you're thinking, I need a half-hour practice, go into that sequence. If you're needing longer, then go down into the specific tents. Chill out space, most of the classes are about 60 minutes. The posture and pelvic core restore, most about 40, 45 minutes. The Hatha Strong, they're 30-minute classes, 30-minute, 20-minute blast classes. So here we've got the download. So I've printed it out here so you can see my one, and I filled it out for this week. So I'll just take you through these categories. There's also down here a link to go into the guide. So I've created a guide here, which I'm going to be going over now. And in the guide, you can just click straight on to the playlists as well. So it might be quite a good idea just to save the guide as a download online, so that then when you open your computer, you can go straight to that. For example, look here, I've got the link to the protein-rich breakfast ideas, which the members came up with, and some of them are fantastic. Anyway, let's go out of here, just go back to where we were. Hang on a second. How do I go? Whoopsie daisy, here we go. Go back to our home page and look at this tracker here. All right, so on the tracker, I start with, I've got 5 categories, but there's also a place for you to put your own notes to self. So these are just suggestions. And as we go over this month, going into February as well, I can update this and change this and put up fresh PDFs. Let's just see how we go together as a group. The idea is to just start being a bit more mindful about the things that you're doing to improve your health and well-being. So number 1 is quick fix yoga sequence. So that would be, for me, I have popped down that daily I'm going to try and do one of the bathroom boot camp exercises, at least when I go to the bathroom. So a couple of times a day, I'm going to try and do some tricep dips or open up those pectoral muscles when I go through the door frame. Doing those is a great way just to pause, breathe deeply, relax, get into that habit of slowing down and diaphragmatically breathing, which is really, really important for our stress levels. So I've also, and all of those are for us members are in the 10 minutes or less sequences here. Yeah. So just go into those, that playlist to find sequences that you could pop on to remind yourself. I've also put in here a wind down stretch for an evening. Now I would go either into the 10-minute or less sequence here, the master playlist, or if I'm looking for something a bit more specific, I'd go down into the chill out space tent and go to the quick fix sequence list there. Or if you have got, 60 minutes, by all means do one of the full classes. And if you could possibly join me live on a Monday to do that class, it's really nice because if you've got a specific issue that you need to be working on, if you've got shoulder issue, if you've got, I don't know, tight hips or whatever, you can just say to me at the beginning of the class, Linda, can we make sure we do some releases on the psoas, for example, whatever, and I'll make sure that I incorporate what you need into the class. So if you're wanting that extra one-to-one help, just make sure you come to the live classes. So moving on, so let's just say the reason I've put the quick fix yoga base sequence as number 1 category is because motion is lotion. And what I'm finding is that once we hit this perimenopausal phase, if we don't, use it, we lose it so quickly. So mobilizing the shoulders, the pelvis, stretching out the legs, and then also strengthening. All of this work doesn't need to be long, driving to the gym, doing an hour-long session, driving back again, 3 or 4 hours out of your day. It doesn't need to be like that. It's so much more important and so much more effective for us if we just move daily and little and often. So in the quick fix sequences, the playlist here, I've got like 4, 5, 6 minute desk break stretches. So you might just put that on your phone, a little alarm, and just click on the URL, the link there, go to the sequence, and just make sure that during your day you're up, moving around, breathing, stretching, fascial rinsing, I call it, letting all the tension drop out of you. Doing that kind of thing on a consistent basis is going to be what makes a massive difference in the long run. So that's why I've put quick fix sequences as the first thing on this tracker. Number 2 is me time. Yeah, so downtime, time just for you. It could be anything. Look, we had some great suggestions from the members. Just going into the garden, spending 5 minutes in the garden, just breathing, really looking at the trees, at the flowers, noticing buds coming out, noticing the changes, the natural changes through the seasons. So I love that. So I am a big advocate of getting outside first thing in the morning. Light on the retina helps with your circadian rhythms, and doing just a bit of movement as you breathe. It sets yourself up for the day. So that is a bit of me time, which I try and do most days. Um, in the 10 minutes or less sequences here, there is, I've got, it literally takes 2 to 5 minutes, a little sequence that you might want to do when you go outside to get that morning light on the retina. Um, Sarah also suggested time out from phones, which I'm a, yes, big proponent of as well. This is something that I need to work on. She suggested an app called, what was it called? The Opal app, which can be really helpful, she said, to help limit time on phone. So just deciding to leave your phone upstairs for the first, I don't know, half an hour of the day, hour of the day, so you can plan your day, get some things done without that immediate scroll. Um, Alison suggested she uses her Apple Watch to set timers for her usage of her phone. I thought that was really good as well. Otherwise, somebody else suggested just putting it on airplane mode for chunks of the day. So you start to take back control of the usage of your phone, and then the focus is on you, me time. Me time could be uh, sitting down in the sunshine, just having a cup of tea, just deciding that you're going to read your book for an hour, over lunchtime, just going for a walk without necessarily, listening to a podcast that you have to learn something from or anything like that, but just, getting into your senses, feeling the air on your skin, really noticing the trees around you, the smells of nature. All of these little practices can be so effective, but sometimes we just need to remember that it's important. And so that's why I put it onto the tracker, me time. And you might just put one thing this week, you might put three things. So it's up to you what you want to get into your tracker each week. And number three, really important, nutrition and hydration. We are holistic beings. Everything we put into our mouth is what makes up the cells that we embody. This 50 or so trillion cells, the condensed energy that makes up the vessel, is all created from what we put into our mouths. So when we start to shift focus away from the cravings of, satiating the taste buds and into thinking about how do we satiate the cells, how do we create the most healthy cells, we can shift mindset, but it takes a little while. And so getting into healthy habits, especially first thing in the morning, can be really effective. So what I've put on my nutrition and hydration category is, for this week anyway, is getting back into the habit of 2 cups of hot water, sometimes with a squeeze of lemon, in first thing, before any cups of tea or coffee, hydrating as soon as you wake up. And hot water is such a soothing, once you get into the habit of liking it, it's so soothing for the system. Um, One of the ladies in the membership, Carolyn, who has done my pelvic core restore course, she reminded me about the tadpole water. So I always encourage women, especially if you've got any pelvic floor dysfunction issues. Constipation is the number one driver of incontinence, and a great way just to get the gut moving in the morning is to start the day with tadpole water. I call it tadpole water because it's a kind of, it's like a consistency of tadpoles. I need to find another name. You just put a tablespoon of chia seeds, which are fantastic, full of protein, fiber, nutrients, omega-3s, and also some flax seeds. And actually, Linda M was saying that golden flax seeds. Oh no, Lorna was saying golden flax seeds are the way to go. So try and get fresh ground golden flax seeds, keep them in your fridge, and putting in a teaspoon to a tablespoon of these in a big glass of warm water. I always add a squeeze of lemon. Also, a little bit of cinnamon's really good for blood sugar regulation. And mixing that up, leave it for a few minutes so the chia seeds can expand, and then drinking that down. Really satiating. So you'll find that you can probably, you know, go without eating for a little bit longer if you want to do that. And we've got the protein from the chia seeds there. So it's a really great way just to start flushing things out, getting on top of constipation. Another nutrition hydration suggestion from one of the members was remembering to take probiotics. So she's using fresh kefir, which I think is brilliant. But yeah, starting to get those probiotic foods or a probiotic supplement into the system. We talked a lot about the power of breaking your fast with high protein, high fiber meals. So I took a whole lot of the suggestions and I made a protein rich breakfast ideas little printout. So this is 4 pages long now, and I'll just keep adding to it as we get more. I made the other day the protein rich muffins, 4 ingredients, so simple, so tasty. So really, really simple: eggs, peanut butter, and then berries. Wonderful for us, and a bit of banana in there for those. And I've got in here the banana nut pancakes, gluten-free, my fiber-rich green smoothie recipe, and it was suggested that we add protein powder to that as well. Got a suggestion from one of the members on a type of protein, which he said was very good. Which one was that? I know Ancient and Brave is a good brand, but what else was suggested? It was Strong Nutrients is a brand, protein powder brand recommended. Um, Adding a raw egg into green smoothies, brilliant way to add in protein as well. I'm going to get back into my green smoothies. I used to do this daily. I've kind of fallen off the bandwagon, but again, the track is going to help us just to get back into these healthy habits. Um, I put in here my pimped out overnight oats and porridge. We're talking about how make it more chia seeds than oats. A lot of us experience insulin spikes with too much oats. So really ideal if you can focus on the protein first thing in the morning in particular. Uh, got a recipe here for seed bread, suggested by Carrie, which looks delicious. I haven't made that yet, but I'm going to make that one. I try and start my day with eggs and veg. So I've got a whole lot of recipes here: avocado and black bean eggs, scrambled eggs with various different veg combinations, muffin tin omelets, which I am making today actually. So my daughter can take a couple for her school lunch tomorrow. All of these recipes help stabilize blood sugar levels. They reduce cravings later in the day, tend to keep you satiated, really support our our muscle building, our bone building, and our pelvic floor functions. So you'll find that when you start your day with a good protein-rich meal, you also have much more sustained and improved energy and an ability to focus. So getting away from the carb spikes first thing is really important. So I put there nutrition hydration is quite a big part of the healthy habit tracker. The next category is enhancing rest, enhancing sleep. Now, many of us in the peri to postmenopausal phase struggle with sleep, quality sleep. So there are a lot of things that we can be doing to improve our sleep. Number one, to be honest, is that getting outside first thing, no matter how terrible your sleep has been, getting out first thing, getting the light on the retina, the back of the eyes. We have cells there that set the circadian rhythm for the day. So they set our natural cortisol spike in the morning, and then we start to lose that cortisol as we go through the day when we get that light from outside on the retina. So if you can, get outside into the garden, and you can do a bit of movement and breath work. Just needs to take a minute, 2 minutes. I've got examples here again in the 10 minutes or less sequences. You can just follow those until you get used to doing your own movement. It is honestly life-changing. Starting your day with light on the retina and a bit of movement and a bit of breath work doesn't need to take long. So I've got that under my enhancing rest and sleep, so I can get back into this to the habit of doing that daily. After Christmas and all the sleeping in. I've got no phones after 8:30 for me. So this is a big one. I'm going to be using that app that Sarah suggested. So just a reminder, every day I get to tick off. On the tracker, I've got a little box where you can tick off, track what you have been doing. Um, Yoga Nidra is a wonderful yoga practice. It means yoga sleep. And within the membership, I've got a link. Here we are. Look, just underneath the PDF for the tracker and the guide download. I've got the link directly to the meditation playlist. These are also all in the chill out tent as well. But click on here and you'll see a list of my oops, it is. And I'll get out of that because you do need to be you need to be logged into your YouTube. Um, So that is important. You do need to be logged into your YouTube to be able to go to this private playlist. It's just for you guys, and it's some of my meditations, but also meditations from people that I think are brilliant. Ali Boothroyd, Sarah Raymond. So yoga nidras, especially if you're feeling quite overwhelmed and exhausted, and if you're not sleeping well, taking 10 minutes, 20 minutes, ideally half an hour, sitting yourself in a lovely restorative posture on your bed, propping yourself with pillows. And I show you how to do that. If you go to the chill out tent, there's some examples of restorative poses there. And you just listen to one of these guided meditations, these yoga nidras. The benefits are infinite, but stress and anxiety reducing, improves your sleep quality, enhances cognitive function, healing, physical healing, because where our focus goes, our energy flows too. So when we learn how to go to those parts of our body that need our attention, pain is always an indication of the body saying, please, this is where you need to put some attention and some TLC. Amazing for healing. Also, emotional resilience. When we do yoga nidras, it helps us to experience different states of being. And so we start to realize that what goes on between the ears directly affects our physical manifestation. Incredibly powerful, incredibly powerful. So I've got my favorite recordings in that meditation playlist. One of the members suggested metta kindness, the loving kindness meditation, which is a fabulous practice. So I've put a really lovely one in that playlist as well that you might want to try. It's just a 25-minute meditation. Metta loving kindness meditations, they enhance our connection to ourselves and all that is. So I won't go too much into the details of that right now, but we will be practicing a bit more of that meditation in the Monday night class over the next couple of months. So, and if you want to try it straight away, just go into this playlist, and it's the last one on the list. There's a really nice example of the metta loving kindness meditation. So those are just some examples. You might be in this category. You might be like, right, remind myself to take my progesterone before I go to bed, or my sleep tonic, or my magnesium, whatever it might be. So whatever you need to enhance your sleep, to enhance your state of rest, put it in the tracker in this category. Last category I created was nervous system and soul. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. So this vessel of ours, which I am so passionate about enhancing for all of us women, is driven by our soul. And the more we connect with our inner pilot light, our North Star, the more we can get out of our heads and into the body, the more we start to feel truly balanced and who we truly are. And this is the magic of yoga, because yoga brings us to a state where we feel connected to the all that is. And that is the ultimate goal. The physical asana, the physical postures are just a tiny portion of what yoga is all about. And they're really only used to try and help us be so comfortable in our body that we can sit in meditation a lot more easily. We can have a nice, straight spine to get that energy flowing through the body properly. So, what I've put for me in this category is thinking and thanking, which is a lovely practice that I learned initially through One of Many. I'm a One of Many coach and trainer. So, this is one of their coaching tools. Thinking and thanking is something you do last thing when you're in bed and just about to go to sleep. So, maybe you've done your yoga practice, maybe had a bath, cleaned your teeth, got ready for bed, maybe done your reading for 10 minutes or whatever, feeling sleepy, you've turned off the light and you're just sitting down. And the last thing you do is you go into your body. So I teach that at the end of every class, we go into our body, even if it's just a minute. We feel underneath the skin surface. You start to tap into the energy of the body. You feel into your breathing. You notice how your body feels with the breath coming in and out. And then you review your day and you just think about synchronicities, interesting conversations, kind acts, things or people that made you feel more connected, more alive. And you consciously bring your memory, you remember, you bring yourself back to that thing that happened or person that you had an interaction with, or that beautiful tree that you noticed or whatever, and you thank you say thank you. You're thinking about something and you are putting yourself into a gratitude state, and the gratitude state is the highest vibration. So when we get into the practice of bringing ourselves into a state of gratitude on a regular basis, we start to change what we experience in life. We start to literally create our own futures. So it's really powerful, thinking and thanking. So I talk more about that in the guide. And I will be also reminding us in that Monday night class to go into that thinking and thanking state. I've put here for nervous system and soul yoga nidra again. So some of these practices can go over several different categories. Yoga nidra is one of the most powerful things that I've learned in the last 20 years of teaching. Probably the most powerful thing I've done, apart from just learning to breathe properly, in the 30 years or so that I've been practicing yoga. It's very, very effective. And if you're somebody who historically doesn't sleep that well, like I've always struggled with insomnia, I find yoga nidra is a game changer. So yeah, again, there are different practices here in the meditation playlist that you could use. And I find also, so I've also put under my nervous system and soul, which also would transfer into the me time, is being in nature. So at the moment, I've managed to get a avulsion fracture on my ankle, so I can't walk that much. But for me now, just getting outside and spending some time kind of connecting with nature. But when I can walk, I get to a bit of forest. It doesn't even matter if it's 10 minutes. It doesn't matter how long, but you just drop into a state where you are deeply connecting with what is around you. So you go into that expanded awareness. And it's very, very powerful. It changes your state very quickly and it connects you. It connects you. So that's what I do. Other people try, we talked a lot about in the session that I ran about journaling. Journaling is another, or morning pages is another coaching tool used by One of Many. It's based on The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And it is a way of creating a flow of consciousness. So getting out of your head and then dropping into the subconscious brain. And basically what you do is first thing in the morning, when you just wake up and you're still in the I can't remember if it's the beta or the theta. I can't remember which brain state it is, but you're not properly awake yet. You grab an A4 journal, preferably without lines, and you just write. And the process of use your brain just switching on through the almost the cerebellum part of the brain, switching on the back, the not your neocortex, not your kind of thinking brain, but just the subconscious part of your brain, and letting it flow down into your hand. And you just write, 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 write. And when I do it, I scribble. You can't even read it, what I've written. So don't worry about anyone finding a diary because they won't be able to read it. You write really fast, and you write 3 pages. And a lot of really powerful, successful people attribute morning pages to their success because it helps us to tap in to our natural creativity. And it also helps just to clear away the clutter, the subconscious clutter, and again, realign with that inner North Star. So that's a lovely practice as well. And then after the nervous system and soul, I've just put a place to put notes to self. So I'll be putting in there, remembering to take my HRT, remembering to book in an appointment with a physio, that kind of thing. So that's pretty much it. The very basic, not complicated. It's a printout. You put it on the fridge and you just tick off the things you have done. The idea being that week by week, we start to create these healthy habits. They start to stick and they just start to become who we are, what we do. We become those people who we just move every day. We just start our day with protein. It's just what we do. We just, drop into deep, slow breathing when we feel we're in our head too much. It's just what we do. And it's these micro habits, these small habits that we do on a daily basis that are going to build and build and build and make sure that we have the kind of healthy future that we want to have. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you'd like to be part of the womenswellbeing.me tribe and join us with the Healthy Habit Tracker, then just get in touch. We would love you to be part of our group. Take care.